My name is Puleng Abinasakhalo, and I'm a professor of psychology and the Chief Albert Luthuli Research Chair at the University of South Africa. University of South Africa is one of the co-leads in the Africa Charter initiative, and it has been an amazing 3 days now with the workshop, which has given us the opportunity to think about how to operationalize the charter and to think about the work plan going forward since we launched the charter over a year ago. So it was really a great opportunity for the stakeholders, for interested parties, for us to come together as a collective to think collectively about the ways in which we can think about the practical ways in which to operationalize the charter. Great ideas, great suggestions, and great initiatives in the ways in which we can move forward came to the fore through the deliberations and engagements. So from my side, in terms of expectations, I'm hoping that it starts with me. It starts with us actually doing the work. It's almost the end of the year now, so I think it gives us an opportunity to reflect on everything that we've discussed, but it also gives us the opportunity to look forward to 2025 and to ensuring that we actually hit the ground running and put into action some of the very great ideas that have been discussed. So that's what I'm expecting, not only from myself, but from us as a collective, because that's the only way in which the charter can be realized beyond just being a document.
Greetings to you all. My name is Divine Fu. I am Director of the Institute for Humanities in Africa at the University of Cape Town, where I'm also Associate Professor of Anthropology and also co-chair of the Global Africa Group of the World Universities Network. My colleague Isabella Aboderin, who is the Director of the Perivoli Africa Research Center at the University of Bristol, and who is also the co-chair of the Global Africa Group of the World Universities Network, was supposed to be here with me, but cannot make it because she's currently having a meeting with the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, where we are currently on the Africa Charter. We are very happy that Susie Jim is actually there with you representing us, and that she's going to engage with the pertinent issues that we think are important, and she will report back not just to us, but to the Global Africa Group of the World Universities Network. The Africa Charter for Transformative Collaborations was actually launched in 2023 in Namibia during the core VIP conference of the Association of African Universities. So it is actually a live document right now. And since its launching, it's been signed by over 100 institutions, and it's an increasing number. And it's a document, an instrument, and it's becoming an institution that you cannot ignore. And we are very happy that within the Global Africa Group of the World Universities Network, where this charter actually emerged, with the idea of rethinking knowledge orthodoxies, where the idea of really hanging on to the global push to decolonize, to rethink and reimagine knowledge production, to reimagine scientific production was actually born, and that this push is being adopted by its members, is being adapted by its members, is being transformed by its members, and that this meeting right now is an important space and framework to take this charter and its principles and its aspirations further and to reimagine it. So the charter responds to a global inequality, to a global injustice, but also to a global problem. The fact that a big part of the world is not treated fairly, but also it's not included, or even when it's included, it's not acknowledged, and that the world is not allowing itself to breathe by embracing knowledge that is produced from other parts of the world. So Africa has been set to produce less than 2, less than 1 in some cases, and in some cases less than 3% of knowledge, of global knowledge or global scientific knowledge production. And that is very critical, because when you have a part of the world that actually contributes through minerals, through raw materials, through ideas to global production, you can see in gold, you can see in oil, you can see in agriculture, you can see in the peopling of the world, but that is actually said to contribute very little to global scientific production. We see there's an imbalance, and that this is an imbalance because we think the world is actually losing a lot by not acknowledging, by not centering, by not embracing, by not opening up to these epistemologies, to methodologies, to data, embracing scholars who are producing from these areas, embracing new modes of knowledge production, new modes of ideas, because it is also in embracing equitable frameworks, not delving really deeper into some of the ideas that we think are really critical. So myself and my colleagues at the University of South Africa, the Albert Luthuli Chair, my colleague Puleng Sekwalo, who is the chair of that center, Ayop Balka, Gabriel Miriam, who is a senior researcher also at the Perivoli Africa Center, have been working on these questions, facilitating really continental projects on this charter, which involves the major higher education institutions on the continent, the AAU that have names, ARUA, the AAS, CODESUA, University of Cape Town, UNISA, University of Bristol, and many other players, to introduce and propose this document that has been adopted or signed by many organizations into the world. It's a living document, and we think that having many organizations sign up to this document, having many researchers sign up to this document, allows us the opportunity to begin to rethink how these collaborations in many places can contribute, to a fair science, can put science at the center of transformation, science at the center of sustainable development, science at the center of human dignity, science at the center of addressing the world's future initiatives. And we are hoping that going forward, and in your conversations, that the aspirations in the charter, that the issues that are contained in the charter will be central to your debates, will be central to imagining the future collaborations that you would like to do. So we are looking forward to engaging you, and we are looking forward to you signing up to it, and we are looking forward to working with you to reimagine a new future for global science.
My name is Ayop Balka. I'm a researcher at the University of Bristol at the Perivoli Africa Research Center. I've been part of this process since August 2021, since I joined the University of Bristol. And my role is to provide the research insight. I've been doing all the research around providing the intellectual underpinnings to argue for the relevance of the justification to have the charter and the kind of orientations and perspectives that we need to foreground, so that we mobilize all the concerned and relevant actors and bodies across the continent and across the globe, both intellectually and also in policy engagement areas. It's been an excellent platform and excellent opportunity of deliberating about envisioning what kind of future do we see in a context where the charter is implemented, and how can we transit into that situation through policy dialogues and intellectual inquiry, and also collective action, so that Africa's rightful place in the global ecosystem of knowledge production, scientific knowledge production in particular, is well adequately recognized, whereby Africa-centered knowledge systems are adequately recognized and considered valuable, not only by Africans, but also across the world, to solve not only African problems, but also global problems. So that's the kind of thing that we've been doing over the past 3 days. It's been quite rewarding, because we had plenty of time to reflect and to raise some difficult questions that would require difficult answers rather than just simply to remain in a very confined thinking space. So it was a very great opportunity. The way forward, we can see it in different ways. Those who are actively engaged in the policy sphere, we need to be conscious of what kinds of power imbalances do our policy frameworks reinforce, or the extent to which they can challenge those power imbalances. That can happen in a number of ways, at the individual level, at the conceptual level, and also across the region. Those who are engaged in intellectual inquiry of research, we also need to be quite conscious of the theories and the concepts that we use to explain African realities, to what extent they are embedded or informed by the realities of African ecosystem, so that we will not be part of the problem, but rather a part of the solution. So the way forward is all on us. Like for us at the University of Bristol, it's all about revisiting the policies and legal frameworks that shape international research collaboration with Africa-based partners. To what extent those processes are simply designed to pursue only University of Bristol's interest, at the expense of African research partners' interest. So those areas of engagement need to be revisited and also changed accordingly, so that the transformative aspiration of the Charter is pursued.